but it doesn't work now. Great. That's okay.
I got some stuff.
I'll grab it. I put everything in my G drive on my phone, so I'll get it. Thank you.
We're good? Okay. Good evening. Would you stand with me for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, please? Father, we come to you this evening and ask for your blessings and your wisdom as we conduct the business of the city. We ask you to watch over all of our friends and family and keep them all in your good grace. We ask that you would watch over the city of Vienna and the state of West Virginia and the world. Please give us your peace and make the world a better place to live. These things we ask in your name, and amen. Amen. Mr. Leach, if you would, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call to order this regular session of the Vienna City Council for January the 11th, 2024. Let the record reflect that I've taken roll, that all members of council are present this evening. Councilman Azinger is joining us by phone. Before we go into the agenda this evening, I would like to call on Chief Pfeiffer. At the last council meeting, we had a issue that we had to deal with, and so Chief Pfeiffer is going to give us an update on that, and then we'll move into the agenda.
Thank you. Over the month of December, we had an incident that caused quite a stir up in the Greenmont Hills area with a vicious pit bull dog that had continuously got out. So I came here tonight, not necessarily to clear the air, I guess give you a briefing, kind of what happened and how we handled the incident, and how we could possibly make it better. So on December 7th, we got a call in the 1100 block of 51st Street from a lady that said her fiance was out with their dog. This pit bull and another canine came running at their dog. They perceived it as vicious, so the owner let their dog go to run away to get away from the danger. And nobody was hurt. Dog wasn't hurt, but it was perceived as dangerous by this person, and it probably was. So the officer went, got some information from the man, who did obtain some dog tag information with a name on it, and it did have a phone number. So the officer tried to locate, call the phone number, which ended up with somebody in New Jersey, wasn't able to locate the person's name that was on the dog tag. So that was pretty much the whole incident. The officer contacted the Humane Society, but the dog was nowhere to be found. So on December 14th, there was a call up in the Greenmont area again, where a lady indicated she was having some fence work done, and this guy that was fixing her fence, he found this pit bull running around and had attacked her dog. He was able to get the dogs free from each other, had ended up tying the dog to a street sign, and the Humane Society was able to respond. It wasn't like immediate, because their officers, they have very few, and it was an hour or so before they could respond. So, and this all occurred unbeknownst to the police department. We weren't aware of this incident, but it ended up Humane Society personnel came to that scene and took the dog. So they took it to the Humane Society. They gave it some shots and whatnot. The owner of the dog arrived at the Humane Society to reclaim the dog. Staff went through some procedures and whatnot that, and advised them to keep the dog from getting out and how to make the dog safe. So on December the 18th, Gary McIntyre, who's the executive director, returned a call to the owner of the previous incident that I spoke of. She was concerned, and he advised the owner what they had done with the dog, and kind of quarterbacked some information exchange between the dog owner and whatnot. So that seemed to go well. On December the 20th, we received, the police department, another call about this dog. So this was in the 5500 block of 14th Avenue. And this one, this pit bull attacked a golden retriever, did bite it, bit the lady who tried to separate them, and the dog ultimately ran away. But we were able to locate where the dog belonged at this point. The officer went there to the house, issued a citation to the owner about the dog. So, and this dog is inside. It's not like it's in a yard. I think it's in the house. And these people, we had learned at this point, the owners of the dog weren't from here. They were temporarily staying here at this location in Greenmont Hills. So the officer has a talk with the owner. They say, okay, we're going to take the dog back to Ohio, where we're from anyway, and it won't be a problem here anymore. The Humane Society was contacted. There was some conversation between the officer that responded and the humane officer from the Humane Society. So at this point, we thought, hey, we addressed the issue, and at this point, we thought it was over. On the 28th, I got a text message from a friend who said that same dog has now attacked another dog up on Greenmont Hills, which is the one Henry Sasson was talking about at the last council meeting. So this dog, we knew it was the same dog. It was kind of like the same MO type thing, same description. We went and wrote the owner another citation. I personally called the Humane Society. They responded, and on that day, the owner physically loaded up the dog. The officer saw them load it into a car and drive it away. So, and that was all of the incidents. So, on the 4th, the mayor and I went to the Humane Society, just to kind of clear the air on our protocol on what we're doing. And, I don't want to give, I guess I just want to give some information to you all and everybody sitting here tonight and whatnot about, what we can and can't do. And this was a very unique situation. This dog, after all these incidents, I guess, makes it home and goes inside. I think we acted appropriately. The Humane Society still stands clear on what they will and will not respond to in the city of Vienna, but it does include vicious dogs at 24/7. They will respond, or vicious cats, by the way. So it was a good meeting with Humane Society, but the only thing really I got with the mayor out of that meeting is the communication probably could have been better. I didn't know about some of the incidents they had responded to, and vice versa from us. So to escalate, but all we can do as law enforcement generally in this is write tickets, for a vicious or a stray dog. So we did what we could, and the officers did what they thought was right, making sure that the dog was gone. I think we got some bad information the first time, and it was a bad thing that this continued. So, and it did. So I hate it. Our job is to protect people and property, and which includes pets. But that's what we're capable of doing. So that's all we could do. The Humane Society, they did take and release the dog, I guess, on that one occasion. And, there's a lot of people out there thinking, well, we should be taking the dog. I don't have the means to take the dog. Jim could probably tell you there's amendment issues for the Constitution about, it's being inside someone's home. We did go over exactly, you can get a court order to have the dog, the custody of the dog from the Humane Society, and we ironed that out with the Humane Society. That's probably to the extreme. In this case, it was probably warranted, but we acted on what we knew at the time. We thought the dog was gone, and it wasn't. It was unfortunate that another incident happened. So that's pretty much the long and short of it. I did want to give you a briefing and an update on that. If you guys have any questions about that, I know it was quite a stir up in the Greenmont area and throughout Vienna. I had questions about it as well. So if there's anything I can answer, I will.
I thought the meeting with the Humane Society was excellent. I think that we redefined that protocol that you referred to, and that they have a good relationship with the magistrate's office. And if the need arises, they will execute that court order and get it very quickly. This was a crazy situation where the dog got along just fine with people. It had no issues with people. But if it saw another dog, it was game on.
Yeah.
And so I think that, this situation, because we weren't aware of what had happened a couple of times, got the neighbors concerned. And so it's gone now and, won't be back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
So this evening, we have two people that have signed up to speak at the public forum. We will start this evening with Mr. Andrew Woofter.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm an attorney here in Parkersburg, and I represent the Mid-Ohio Valley Transit Authority. I've done work for the Transit Authority for some time. With me is Mike Kesterson, the General Manager. We are coming up upon the time when we will be asking the City of Parkersburg and the City of Vienna to put to the voters the question whether to continue to support the Transit Authority by renewing the existing levy that is on the books right now. The levy that is currently in place provides funding through the year ending June 30, 2025. So this would be picking up July 1, 2025 and continuing on for the 2 fiscal years thereafter. For a number of years, the Transit Authority has been able to operate without requesting an increase in the levy rate, and that continues again for the coming 2 years. Really, the budget is essentially flat. There's a very small increase, but the increase in assessed property values picks up the additional, the gap in between the two without us having to ask for an additional levy. So all we're asking the city to do is what you all have been cordially have done for years, and that is put to the voters the question whether they want to continue to support the Mid-Ohio Valley Transit Authority in the city of Vienna. Mike Kesterson and I appeared Tuesday at Parkersburg City Council and put the same question to Parkersburg City Council, and we anticipate that they will approve in order to put the matter to the primary election on May 14 of this year. So our point here is just to let you know it's time for this again and ask hopefully that you all will consider to at least put the question to the voters. Again, it's not an endorsement from the City Council of the Transit Authority. It is merely putting the matter to the vote of the public. We'll be happy to answer any questions that we're able to if anyone has any.
I just want to make a comment to what you said, Andrew. The other day, we had a Wood County Development Authority meeting, and as you're aware, WVUP Foundation now has the ownership of the old Ohio Valley University campus. They're going to make some major improvements up there, and one of the reasons that President Torrey Jackson cited for that interest was the fact that the bus service handles that area, and they have a real problem with getting the bus service out to the WVUP area. And so because, the bus comes up there, that's one of the reasons why they're going to move some of their programs or establish new programs up there. And I think that's fantastic because that's a great facility, and the plans that they've got laid out, they hope to have them in place and up and running by late to 2025, which is, that's great. So anyway, thank you for that. I know that was one of the things that we worked on in the past, Mike, and you were very accommodating to include that up there. And so it worked. So thank you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you all.
We'll put that on the agenda for the 25th, and you will get that to us.
I will submit something to Mr. Skogstad for him to review in advance.
That'd be great. Thank you. Next is Chad Emmerich.
Good evening. My name is Chad Emmerich, and I am a Vienna resident. Tonight, I am here to address my concerns on agenda number 5, the ordinance creating a Vienna City Economic Development Authority. I have often said that we need to identify new ways to attract businesses in our industry in Vienna, which brings fresh revenue and employment to our community, and not just businesses that continue to pass around the same funds. There was a time when Vienna was home to several factories and industries that provided secure employment at a livable wage. Now we look around, with some exceptions, and Vienna is dependently mainly consistent on retail and food services for revenue, with many jumping from job to job. Although I believe we need to address both the challenges and sustainability of economic development, I have concerns on this ordinance. I do not have issues with the intent of the ordinance, but rather the sections 154.03 and 154.04. This ordinance only has 5 that make up its membership, 2 of which are on the council, and 3 being appointed by the mayor. We need greater representation that provides diversity and inclusion to all small, medium, and large businesses. I would also suggest having members that own and operate businesses in Vienna. Coming from a family that owns and operates a local business, I understand how starting a business, building a business, and sustaining a business is difficult. If you are considering voting in favor of this ordinance, rather than simply working with the Wood County Economic Development Authority, my suggestion is to include member qualifications, to increase the number of members, and also to include a larger, expanded version of what the purpose of this committee should be. I would also like to urge this administration to look further than the same 5 or 6 names that keep coming up that either serve currently on other councils or city employees. We have almost 11,000 citizens in our community, many of which have talent, skill, and desire to serve to our community. I urge you, give them a chance.
The minutes from the regular council meeting on December the 14th and December the 28th, 2023 have been printed, posted, and circulated. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
I have a few corrections to the minutes from December 14th. Under roll call, you have Jim Leach, and then in parentheses, it says via phone. Jim was present during that meeting. I mean, you gave your economic presentation later. So, just as a result of that, it said roll call vote taken by Melissa Elam. Well, every roll call vote was actually taken by Mayor Rapp, as all council members were present and in person. Those are 2 things. And then item number 8 on the agenda, which is was the internal budget revision number 3. It reads, quote, roll call vote on the amendment taken by Recorder Melissa Elam, Councilwoman Kim Williams, Councilman Tom Azinger, Councilman Jim Lynch, Councilman Roger Bibby, Councilman Chris Mancuso, Mayor Randy Rapp, and Recorder Elam voting yes. Vote 3-4, amendment fails. I just need to qualify that obviously we all didn't vote yes.
Tell me which one it is again.
I'm sorry. You know what? I printed this off, so I just didn't pass them down. You can follow along. So anyway, I just think it was just for qualification. So Mr. Azinger, Mr. Mancuso, and myself, we all voted no. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. We voted for the amendment. See, now I'm confused. We voted for the amendment. Do you see on there where it says yes?
Right now, yeah. So on that part, you're okay.
We can just pull those and we'll do those as the next meeting, okay? All right, so we will pull the December 14th.
Okay, because there was a couple others, so we don't need to discuss them. You're just going to pull it off the
She'll
list.
do the correction and we'll bring it back.
That's
All right.
fine with me. Thank you.
So the December 28th minutes have been printed, posted, and circulated. Are there any corrections to the minutes from December the 28th? If there are no objections, then the minutes will stand approved as posted. Councilman Leach, report of the treasurer, please.
Reconciliation of funds for the City of Vienna for January 2024 have been reviewed. The accounts appear in order, and the city is financially solid.
All right, sir, thank you. So we move into unfinished business. There is none to be dealt with this evening, so we'll go to new business. The first item that we have on our agenda this evening is a resolution donating a 2009 Dodge Challenger police cruiser to the city of Pennsboro. It's a resolution donating a used 2009 Dodge Charger police cruiser to the city of Pennsboro, West Virginia. Whereas the Vienna Police Department has a 2009 Dodge Charger police cruiser that is in excess of its need, and whereas the said Vienna Police Department wishes to donate said vehicle to the city of Pennsboro, West Virginia for its use, and whereas the city of Pennsboro, West Virginia desires to accept such cruiser for its police department for such use as may benefit the city of Pennsboro, West Virginia and its residents. Whereas the city of Vienna exercises its authority to donate property to another governmental body as per West Virginia Code 8-12-18A. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Vienna that Vienna Mayor Randall C. Rapp is hereby authorized to donate that certain police cruiser to the city of Pennsboro, West Virginia, more completely identified as set out below, and is hereby authorized to execute for and on behalf of the city of Vienna that equipment transfer donation agreement, a copy of which is attached hereto, incorporated by reference and made a part thereof, and any other documents as are necessary to facilitate the transfer of said police cruiser. The description and/or identifying number for the police cruiser are as follows: 2009 Dodge Charger, VIN number 2B3KA43V 49H638217. This is an excess cruiser that we no longer use. I believe the mileage on it is 150,000 miles. The city of Pennsboro only has one vehicle. They currently do not have the ability to replace that vehicle with or add another vehicle to that. And so because we had the extra one, we typically would put it on Gov Deals and auction it to someone at whatever city, and we would have gotten a few dollars for it. But because of the mileage and the age on it, the city of Pennsboro is one of our local cities. And so that's the reason for this resolution. So I would entertain a resolution donating a used 2009 Dodge Charger to the city of Pennsboro, West Virginia.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, then I'll call for the question. Madam Recorder, would you do that since Mr. Azinger's not here?
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Azinger?
Tom, can you hear us? Tom, can you hear us? Yes, sir. Tom, are you there? All right, then we'll scratch Mr. Azinger.
Mr. Leach?
Yes.
Mr. Rapp?
Yes.
I say yes. Mr. Bibby?
Yes.
Mr. Mancuso?
Yes.
All right. I apologize, Mr. Azinger's not able to attend this evening, but he's doing his best, so. All right. Anyway, the motion carries 6-0. Chief Pfeiffer, if you'll notify them that it has been changed over, we'll get it to them as soon as you're ready. All right, sir, thank you. Second item this evening on our agenda is the adoption of the 2024 amendments to the bylaws of the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department. You all should have received all of those changes in the yellow on your documents for that. And so Chief Scholl is here this evening. If you have any questions, it's a simple procedural change, something that our attorney asked the fire department to adopt through their bylaw changes. Chief, any comment on that?
Yeah, we had to, a company or an organization wanted to donate money to us, and to do that, they said we had to have an anti-terrorism clause in our bylaws, which basically means that any money received from us or to us will not be given to any terrorist organizations. Not a problem.
All right. So this is a resolution adopting the 2024 amendments to the bylaws of the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department. Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Vienna as follows. Whereas a quorum of the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department Bylaws Committee, duly elected, properly convened, and by majority vote, recommended that the attached changes to the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department bylaws be submitted to the body of the department for its consideration. And whereas at 2 consecutive regular business meetings of the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department, the first held at 7 p.m. on December the 7th, 2023, and the second held at 7 p.m. on December the 14th, 2023, both meetings having been held at the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department, by a simple majority vote at said meetings, approved the proposed attached changes to the bylaws, and whereas, per Vienna Municipal Code, said changes were submitted to the Vienna City Council for its consideration, and upon due consideration of the public health, safety, and welfare, the wishes of the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department, and upon recommendation of the City of Vienna Fire Chief, the Common Council of the City of Vienna does hereby adopt the attached changes and orders that they be incorporated into the fire department bylaws effective immediately. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the resolution adopting the 2024 amendments to the bylaws of the Vienna Volunteer Fire Department.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution adopting the bylaws changes. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Oh, yes, and Tom officially.
I think Tom's done.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All those in favor of the resolution, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Chief, your bylaws are amended.
Thank you.
Item number 3 is the 2023-24 General Fund Budget Revision Number 5. Councilman Leach, please.
This is from account 369, contribution from other funds. This is contribution from capital reserve, current balance $3,155,339. Increase, the contribution of $300,730. This is to increase the fund to revenue. First line item is 54219 pool. And this increase in the amount of $225,730 is for bond payments. The other line item is for economic development, line 70468. This contribution, additional amount to the Wood County Development Authority, entering into an added agreement. Current budget's $8,000, increased by $75,000, ending budget $83,000, and for a total change of $300,730.
I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the 2023-24 General Fund Budget Revision Number 5.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve General Fund Budget Revision Number 5. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, just briefly, I'm moving this forward because we are interested in moving forward with West Virginia Economic Development. Of course, we need to get this funded for the bond payments. So in that regard, I do support the budget revision under those conditions.
All right.
I just have one question, quick one. Just so I make sure I understand. So the bond payments, that would be the payments basically on the pool until the end of the budget year, which would, June 30th. Is that correct?
Correct. It's encumbering the funds.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. All right. If there's no further discussion, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor of the General Fund Budget Revision Number 5, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item number 4 this evening is a resolution transferring the balance of American Rescue Plan funds allocated to the City of Vienna to the Vienna Utility Board for the rehabilitation of water well fields number 9 and 10. Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Vienna that it hereby assigns the balance of the American Rescue Plan funds received by or allocated to the City of Vienna by the federal government under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, consisting of approximately $153,897, along with any accrued interest, presently approximately $32,000, for an approximate value of $190,000. Mr. Azinger,
Yes, sir.
are you back with us, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I've heard everything going on. You just couldn't hear me.
No, sir, it was quiet. We'll try it again.
Give you some. I think we're okay now, I think.
All right. So we're doing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We're doing the resolution transferring the balance of the American Rescue Plan funds allocated to the City of Vienna Utility Board for the rehabilitation of water well fields 9 and 10. Mr. Leach, would you read that resolution for me, please?
Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Vienna that is hereby assigns the balance of the American Rescue Plan ARP funds received by or allocated to the City of Vienna by the federal government under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, consisting of approximately $153,897, along with any accrued interest, presently approximately $32,000, for an approximate total of $190,000 to Vienna Utility Board, VUB. The allocation of said funds to the Vienna Utility Board is for the purpose of planning, purchasing, and/or leasing equipment, hiring personnel if necessary, and funding a necessary water infrastructure project, specifically to rehabilitate water well fields 9 and 10, which is to be undertaken by the Vienna Utility Board. These funds are only to be applied to infrastructure projects as are contemplated by the ARP. And one note in that regard. So I said consisting of 153,000. As I understand, a pump purchase came in 10,000 less, so that's about 163. And this number will move depending on interest accrued. So it's worded that way so that at whatever point the funds are taken, the appropriate language for funding it is within the resolution.
And just to be clear about that, when Councilman Leach references the sum plus the interest, this will effectively allocate all of the money that we have been assigned through the ARP. The water well fields, the rehabilitation of 9 and 10 is a $380,000 project. The balance of that will be paid by the utility board. And so once all of the interest and the other funds are allocated, then this will close out our ARP funds for this year or forever, unless the government reestablishes it. But at any rate, I'll entertain a motion for the resolution transferring the balance of American Rescue Plan funds allocated to the City of Vienna to the Vienna Utility Board for the rehabilitation of water well fields 9 and 10.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Mr. Azinger, any comments, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Would you poll the council, please?
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Azinger?
Yes.
Mr. Leach?
Yes.
Mr. Rapp?
Yes.
I say yes. Mr. Bibby?
Yes.
Mr. Mancuso?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Item number 5 this evening is a resolution forming an Economic Development Advisory Committee. Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Vienna that it hereby creates an Economic Development Advisory Committee for the purpose of working closely with the Wood County Development Authority to help facilitate the goals and objectives of economic development within the city. The Economic Development Authority Advisory Committee is the stakeholder group that will assist the Wood County Development Authority with priority setting and long-term planning efforts. The EDAC will convene at least monthly or as requested by the Wood County Development Authority. All members of the EDAC shall serve a one-year term, which will coincide with the Wood County Development Authority's proposed one-year pilot program. The City of Vienna may choose to extend the Wood County Development Authority's proposal and the Economic Development Advisory Committee on an annual basis. The EDAC shall consist of 7 members who qualify by having knowledge and experience in matters pertaining to business, industry, entrepreneurship, real estate, nonprofit organizations, technology, and education. 3/5 of all the members shall be residents of Vienna. Members of the EDAC may be recommended by the Wood County Development Authority and council. All nominations shall be approved by council. A majority of EDAC membership constitutes a quorum necessary for the transaction of business. Meetings of the EDAC are open to the public. The EDAC shall choose its own officers consisting of a chairperson, vice chairman, and secretary. The EDAC shall keep a record of its proceedings in accord with the West Virginia Open Meetings Act. The committee shall only be in effect for as long as there is an active economic development agreement between the City of Vienna and the Wood County Development Authority. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the resolution forming an Economic Development Advisory Committee.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the resolution. Is there any further comments?
Yes. So this resolution, first of all, the first time I've even seen it was when it came on the agenda for Monday. The companion, and Mayor, I don't know, kind of a point of order, everything that follows this is basically the subject of my same comments. Do I need to handle it one at a time? Because my intention is to table these matters until, first of all, we don't even have our city attorney here. We're considering ordinances that we've never seen before and resolutions. And then this extends to, and I know that we've got the chairman and the director of the Wood County Economic Development Authority here. So am I able to address these together, or do I need to take them one at a time?
We're going to have to address them as individual
Okay.
items. I don't believe that you'll be required to give your remarks, okay? Because if they all pertain to the Economic Development Authority, then let's see where you go and we'll go from
Okay.
there.
So with respect to the creation of this, again, I don't understand everything that I'm reading. I think this should have come forward as a discussion point, certainly, before being presented to council with no review. I don't even know where these came from, who drafted them. I mean, I know Russ drafted them, but I'm certainly not willing to consider adopting these matters, particularly without our city council or our city attorney here, how they work together and so forth. So I think that these need to be tabled until they do get a chance to be considered. The city attorney's here and perhaps even be set for discussion. So I would move to table this resolution on that basis.
Before we even had a chance to discuss it?
We can certainly discuss it.
I would love to discuss it. I think it would clear things up a little bit.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to table this. All right? So that stops all the rest of the discussion at this point. All right? So now I will second the motion of Mr. Leach to table this. And so it's been moved and seconded that we table this. Discussion.
I'm sorry, you've totally confused me. It's okay to discuss this motion?
We're discussing whether we're going to table or not. And this is your opportunity to say why you do or do not want it tabled.
Okay. Oh, that's a unique, okay. Well, I just would like to have the discussion tonight. I don't think that the fact that this is new on the agenda and you didn't have but a few days to read about it that's how we conduct business around here. We voted on a $7 million pool when we got the design for the first time a few hours before it, so we didn't have time to review that, but yeah, we went forward. So that argument's kind of doesn't meet the criteria for me. I would just like to discuss it. So I oppose tabling. People can vote how they want to vote, and we could move on. This discussion about economic development's been happening since July, so I just want to settle it.
So no matter what we do this evening, I'm going to move that we amend this resolution. I had the privilege of going to a Wood County Development Authority meeting recently, and I have to tell you that Lindsay is on board with the city of Vienna. that the resources that she has, and the opportunities that we discussed at the board meeting the other day, will benefit the city of Vienna greatly. The last sentence that's in this resolution, the committee shall only be in effect for as long as there's an active economic development agreement. Economic development for the city of Vienna is not going to go away, no matter whether we have an agreement with the Wood County Development Authority or not. I think going with that, this paperwork and all the other three things that come along with it, they're all tied together. And I think until we establish the Development Authority Committee, and we can actually give them some guidance as far as what direction the economic future of the city of Vienna is, that I don't believe that that's the direction that we as a city should take off. Mr. Leach's point about not having enough information, Mr. Skogstad is not with us this evening, and some of the language that is in some of these things that he wrote is contradictory. And without him being here to clear that up for us, that's my reasoning this evening, that I will vote for the tabling of this, not because I don't want to partner with the Wood County Development Authority. I can't wait to get Lindsay and the rest of her staff on board because of the opportunities that she has. But I also believe that this is a big step for us as a city of Vienna. And without Mr. Skogstad being here this evening, I don't believe that we should take this. And I would support Mr. Leach's motion to table this. We'll bring it back up at the next meeting. That's not a problem. Russ is just out of town and he's unavailable for a conference call. And so this is a big step for us. And so with the things that we have tied in with this, listening to the board of directors the other day, there are some fantastic opportunities that are coming to our area that we need to be involved with as much as we can. And so for us to get up to speed, we need to get it moving. And so to do that without having all of the knowledge that the terms that Russ put in here, the clauses, these things, I just believe that we should table this until Russ is back and we can clarify these things up. And we will do our best to get whatever revisions he has out to you all so that you can ask questions before we get here and we can gather answers as you need them.
Mayor, you said something because we weren't evidently going to talk about that. That's why that was my understanding just a few minutes ago. We were just talking about tabling. But you said that one of the things that concerned you was that it only exists while our relationship with the Wood County Economic Development Authority exists. So once again, I can explain all of this. Mr. Mancuso and I worked really hard on it. Your objections, Mr. Leach's objections to why this needs to be tabled because this is too complicated or something. It's very, very simple. And if council would just move and second this, then we can have that discussion. I think it'd clear up a lot of stuff versus waiting 2 weeks from now for this to come back on the agenda when we're fortunate enough that Ms. Pearsall came this evening and she's here.
All right.
Yeah, if I could have a few comments about tabling this. I think we have had ample discussions since July, since the Development Authority first presented their proposal. I think it's very clear, and I would be really interested to hear what is confusing or what is contradictory, Mayor, as you've suggested, in this resolution. Obviously, we're talking about whether or not to table it, and I think we should not table it. I think we need to move forward with these items. I would really hate for the city to miss opportunities by delaying this yet again for another few weeks after we've been discussing it for almost 7 months now. I think that we really need to move forward on these things because economic development happens quick and decisions are made daily on whether companies move here or establish businesses here or not. And I don't want to be behind the 8 ball on this, and I really think we need to move forward.
Mr. Azinger, do you have any comments, sir?
No, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Leach and Chris, for your comments there, We have worked on this for a long time. But there are things in all of these documents that are here that I've never seen before. I don't know where they came from, and I'm assuming from what Councilman Williams said, that you and her put these things together, which is okay. But these are things that I'm not comfortable with, because without Russ being here to explain some of the language that he put in here, and Lindsay, I don't believe is going to run out of town on us in the next 2 weeks. I think we'll be fine. We've allocated the money because of the budget revision that we did. Mr. Azinger?
I lost you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we haven't done anything yet, sir. We're good. Okay, so
Okay.
at any rate, I don't believe that Lindsay's going to run out of town on us, and we allocated the money for this in the budget revision that we did, so we can move very quickly when we need to with this. But having said that, I'll call for the question, and we can vote on whether it gets tabled. If it doesn't get tabled, then we will move on. All right? So would you poll council, please?
Yes, this is for the tabling.
And this is a motion to table this resolution and the resolutions following it down to the last item, which is item number 8. So it would be items 5, 6, and 7.
We're doing all of them together?
We're going to do them one at a time. But then,
Okay,
I mean,
so
that-
same,
That was not the original motion.
I think
Mr. Leach?
Yes, I discussed these, you can't say you're going to table the committee resolution and not consider whether it's the same argument.
That's
for
your opinion. I don't agree with it.
All right, so.
And we'll do them one at a time.
We'll do them one at a time.
We'll do them one at a
I think we should
time.
do
So
them
this will be item number 5. All right? So there's a motion on the floor to table the resolution forming an economic development advisory committee.
Ms. Williams,
No.
Mr. Azinger,
Yes.
Does he understand the question?
do you need me to clarify
Yeah.
or?
Answer the question.
Okay, Mr. Leach,
Yes.
Mr. Rapp,
Yes.
I say yes. Mr. Bibby,
Yes.
Mr. Mancuso,
No.
All right, so that item is tabled. We will put it back on the agenda for the 24th. Let the record reflect it was 5-2 in order to table it. Item number 6 is an ordinance on first reading, creating the City of Vienna Economic Development Authority.
I'm going to ask we suspend the reading of the entire ordinance. I'm going to make the same motion to table this on the same basis.
And I'll read it by title only. Be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Vienna that it hereby creates the Vienna Economic Development Authority for the purpose of facilitating economic development within the City of Vienna.
So moved.
Was there a motion on the table?
Yeah, that is it.
That's, yeah, it's,
And I moved to table it.
well, he has to read the main motion. I would
It
like to
hasn't been
move forward.
seconded yet. Is there a second? Hearing no second, then this ordinance dies for lack of a second. The third one is a amended resolution authorizing the acceptance of an agreement between the Wood County Economic Development Authority and the City of Vienna in the amount of $75,000. This amended resolution authorizing the acceptance of an agreement between the Wood County Economic Development Authority and the City of Vienna in the amount of $75,000.
I would move to table this as well. Well, actually, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm having a trouble because I don't have an internet connection, so I can't see the agenda. So I'm getting a little bit lost.
We're on item 7.
So Mayor, to clarify, you're not reading the full resolution at this point, you're just
Well,
reading the
I
title.
will. But if Mr. Leach says that he's going to make the same motion to table it
Correct.
and wants it read by title only, and I'll do that. I mean, you all have it in front of you, so, but if you want me to read it, I'll read it.
Like I said, I've made the motion to table based on the title, and if, the logic's a little bit different on this, but, so I don't know if I have a second or not.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we table the amended resolution authorizing the acceptance of an agreement between the Wood County Development Authority and the City of Vienna in the amount of $75,000. You did not ask to have it read by title. I'll read it as it is. All right. Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Vienna that it hereby accepts and authorizes the mayor or his designee to execute any documents as are reasonably necessary to enter into a one-year economic development agreement with the Wood County Development Authority. The purpose of this agreement is to secure the assistance of the Wood County Development Authority to identify and pursue development incentives, resources, and opportunities, as well as to coordinate the logistics of applying and implementing said resources, information, and opportunities to facilitate meetings to prepare for or respond to the economic development opportunities, with a particular focus on the former OVU property, the former Johns Manville property, the downtown business district, and any other opportunities that may arise within the city for business development consideration. In exchange for the services more completely specified in the attached draft copy of the agreement, the City of Vienna will pay the Wood County Development Authority the total sum of $75,000 to be paid in 4 equal quarterly installments of $18,750. This agreement can be terminated at any point for any reason. This agreement is exempt from the competitive bid process under Vienna Municipal Code 105.05, as it is a professional service. We have a motion and a second on the floor to table the resolution authorizing the acceptance of an agreement between the Wood County Economic Development Authority and the City of Vienna in the amount of $75,000. Is there any further discussion?
I want to say that I'm in favor of tabling this and the others. I am in favor of this agreement. I'm in favor of having a team or committee from the City of Vienna. I think we have similar yet competing options here, and I do think that it would be in our best interest to get all of that ironed out and have really clear expectations coming into the next council. So I am in favor of all of this, but I think it would do us well and serve us well to step back, get the stuff clarified with Russ, and make sure that everything is clear to everybody. That's why I'm in favor of it.
I will do the best I can when he gets back in town. All right.
I have a comment about tabling. I want to move forward with this. Once again, we've been working on this since late June, July of 2023. What is happening here tonight with the resolution, the ordinance, and this money is this is our regular way of doing business, the way we do it every single time we meet. Stuff goes in the Dropbox. You can read about it. You can call people and ask questions. I do frequently. I know email Mrs. Eel or Mrs. Roberts or whatever. You can get all your questions answered. This has all been done with the city attorney. I just find it's unreal tonight that somehow we have a different set of conditions that don't exist every other time is the reason why we can't move forward. So
I don't think we typically have a resolution and an ordinance that are basically both kind of aiming at the same thing with different. I mean,
they're so similar. Had I had the opportunity to actually go through it step by step, and I made notes to do that, and I'm very well prepared this evening, but that's not what anybody wanted to hear because we're looking for some Hail Mary pass like 2 weeks from now with, Mr. Skodstead. So, we could have gone through this tonight. So I'm just not, it's very frustrating because, we spent a lot of time working on this and it's no different than it ever is.
All right. I'll call for the question. Would you please poll counsel Mr. Azinger? Are you with us, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir.
Okay, Ms. Williams?
No.
Mr. Azinger?
Yes.
Mr. Leach,
Yes.
Mr. Rapp,
Yes.
I say yes. Mr. Bibby,
Yes.
Mr. Mancuso,
No.
All right, so that is also tabled 5-2. The next to last item on our agenda this evening is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Merritt Chase in an amount not to exceed $32,000. At this time, I would like to ask for an executive session to go to discuss a real estate matter.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We go into executive session to discuss a real estate matter. All those in favor, would you please poll the jury? I'm sorry, the table, I'm sorry.
Ms. Williams,
Yeah.
Mr. Azinger,
Yes.
Mr. Leach,
Yes.
Mr. Rapp,
Yes.
I say yes. Mr. Bibby,
Yes.
Mr. Mancuso,
Yes.
Mr. Easing, are you on your cell phone, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna call you I'm gonna call you when we get into executive session. All right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you. Let the record reflect we went into executive